On January 15, 2020, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway made a major announcement regarding its new July 4th weekend this season for NASCAR. Roger Penske recently acquired the track, and he is wasting no time at all making some changes. The big change that was announced was that the NASCAR Xfinity Series race will be instead ran on the Indianapolis Motor Speedway road course. It is uncertain which configuration they're going to run. Matt DiBenedetto is going to have a test session there next week, and we're going to learn more of which configuration NASCAR will choose in terms of the Xfinity Series race. At the conclusion of the Xfinity race, they will of course convert everything back to the oval race for the next day, the Brickyard 400. I personally believe that this is a very interesting move that they're making, but I think it's a move worth trying, especially if you're testing this with the lower circuit like the NASCAR Xfinity Series. Plus, a race like this could open up to more open wheel and IndyCar drivers to potentially try out the NASCAR Xfinity Series race. Remember, James Hinchcliffe was potentially going to run the Xfinity Series race at the Charlotte Roval in 2019, but he had to go to the wedding for Robert Wickens. Already on Twitter, Connor Daly has stated that he's ready to make his second career NASCAR Xfinity Series start for this race, and it looks like a couple teams might have tweeted back to him in interest. So that's a good idea. Maybe we may see someone like Connor Daly or James Davison, or heck, maybe even guys like James Hinchcliffe potentially hop into a stock car and run the Indy road course race. Keep this in mind, the IndyCar Series also runs at the Indy road course early in May before getting everything ready for the Indianapolis 500. So honestly, it's an interesting move, it's something different, and I'm down for it, especially that I'm considering going to Indianapolis this summer as well, as it is the weekend before the Kentucky Speedway races, the races that I generally go to every year. Roger Penske also did state that fan and media responses are going to dictate what they do moving forward, hinting that perhaps maybe next year they could run the Xfinity on the oval and the Cup Series on the road course. I follow Bob Pockrass on Twitter, and I think he made some very interesting opinions. He still believes that they should somehow incorporate Indianapolis Raceway Park, the short track that's nearby, or I guess now it's called Lucas Oil Raceway Park. It used to be home to the NASCAR, then Busch Series and Truck Series back in the 90s and 2000s. Of course, in 2012, the Xfinity Series moved away from IRP and went to the Brickyard in hopes to boost the Brickyard 400 weekend. As we know, for the Cup Series, the Indianapolis Motor Speedway has seen some declines in attendance, and a lot of people have stated that the races aren't as interesting. But I think Roger Penske is going to try a lot of different things to make the NASCAR weekend more interesting and that more people would want to go out to it. One idea that I think he kind of hinted at towards Twitter was like, what if you had a standalone weekend at IRP? So say like ARCA, Trucks, and Xfinity have a little weekend there at Indianapolis Raceway Park that's completely standalone, and then you could do that, and you could do that around the time of the Indy 500 too, and make it this huge racing festival in Indianapolis, which would be a lot of fun, because therefore you got NASCAR and IndyCar kind of teaming up, which I think would be a really interesting idea. And then perhaps maybe you could try one weekend, because I know they're doing it at Pocono with the idea of running the doubleheader. So they're going to run a Cup Pocono race on Saturday and then the next day on Sunday as like a doubleheader. IndyCar does this, especially with, I believe, Belle Isle in Detroit. IndyCar does that too. So perhaps maybe the Cup Series on another weekend could run in a Grand Prix style event where it's like the Brickyard Grand Prix on the Indianapolis road course. And then you run your traditional Brickyard 400 the next day as another Cup race. Because remember, in 2021, that is the year that everything is going to change for NASCAR. Everything's going to change. 2020 is really the last year of the NASCAR we know and love. So I'm really interested to see what's going to happen, how that race is going to play out. I do plan on trying to attend that race weekend as well. So, and by the way, the Xfinity race will also be sponsored by Pennzoil, who also sponsors some of Penske's Indy cars as well. So I'm looking forward to seeing what will happen. I think Bob Pockrass makes some very interesting points on Twitter, and I want to hear what you guys think too. What do you guys think of the NASCAR Xfinity Series running the road course while the Cup Series continues to run the oval on the July 4th weekend? Thank you guys so much for listening. And by the way, just real quick, you will still get Sunburst videos and the usual meme videos that I do every now and then. I promise that. But I have decided recently that I want to make different content, and I want to get more into the NASCAR YouTube community. If I can say that, if that's okay to say. I just want to branch out and make new content. I've been wanting to do that forever, and when you work third shift on 10-hour shifts 4 days straight, it's kind of hard on you. But a lot's going on right now, but I'm just changing things up, and I just want to make different content moving forward and different kinds of content. So I'm not done with the old content. That's still going to happen, but I'm just going to branch out and do some different things as well. Try out different things and experiment, because you never know until you try. So there's a lot to look forward to. I got some interesting ideas that I want to toy around with, especially with NASCAR. Thank you guys so much for listening in and watching this video, and I will see you in the next video. So, who thinks Kyle Busch is going to win both of those races?